camera's a little bit on a lopsided. The ground it's sitting on is just not very level. But anyways, here at another cemetery during the daytime. It's another one I hadn't been to in quite a while. Excuse me. It's called Steen Cemetery. I do know it dates back into the mid-1800s. Possibly goes back even further than that, but first recognizable grave information they have on it is pretty much around about that time. There is one unique grave in which I'll go to it, show you it, which it was almost like one night I had the spirit come and connect with me, and it was showing me basically where it was at, and a little bit of information, and in what it was showing me, I recognized that I'd been to that place. I'd seen that cemetery. As soon as I figured out where it was, what they were connecting with me, I came the next day, and it led me right to that grave, and that's where I found this kind of unique situation there. But we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a short. Anyways, I have had a little bit of activity happen here. Some of my devices have gone off. I've heard whispers. Haven't been able to come in here during the night because it's one of the cemeteries, like most of them, that it's dusk to dawn. There's just very few of them that still you can get into after hours, and some people are able to go and sneak in or whatever, take their chances. But no, I respect the way they have it set up. If you're only out in there during certain hours, it's like a gate that's locked and says no trespassing. I'm not going to cross it without permission. Anyways, cemeteries not real big, but there are quite a few graves in here, and you can tell some of them they still have family that come and visit them because you see flowers or some kind of decoration or something around them. So you still hear the highway. The highway is probably not even a quarter of a mile off of a road to the cemetery. So, and it's pretty much a main highway going through. Now this cemetery, if I remember correctly, it used to be called something else, and then I'm not sure how that story goes, how it changed its name to Steen Cemetery. I'm going to walk down here and see if I can't find that information, because I don't remember the name of the person that this was named after. $1940, or I don't know if that's 1940 or 1840. Well, can't be 1840 because he was born in 1885, so that kind of rules that out. I was thinking it was right through here somewhere. It's been a while since I've been here, so I don't really remember. That looks like a fairly new grave here. That's not too long. They still do have funerals here. I see a couple of them over that direction, maybe 3, 4. So it is still an active cemetery. As to where some of them we've gone to, not so much. Well, don't remember that name or that information. But I was thinking it was back in here. It was the first or the earliest marked recognizable grave. Looks like that one needs some new dirt around it because it's sinking in. We've had quite a bit of rain here, so you know, I may have to just, when I go to edit the video, I'll have to do research and find out that information, because I don't remember right offhand. It's been a long time since I've been here. There are a lot here, a lot of military. I do buried in here. But there's a lot of headstones that you can't make out what they say anymore. They've weathered. If you kind of look at some of these over here, I believe where this is a cemetery that my granddaughter come with me one time, and we were noticing a lot of coins and stones and everything on a lot of the graves, and she was kind of curious about what that meant or what that was all about. So I told her, I said, well, get online and Google it, you know, see what kind of information you can find out about it. So she did. Headstone right there. You can see the name, but you can't see any dates because it's sunk down into the ground. It's like somebody needs a groundskeeper or something need to come out and kind of fix some of these up, you know, because I would think that, you know, they're maintaining the place, keeping it up to kind of par, I guess, that they would do that. But I think a lot of these places, they figure, well, it's your family members buried here, you do it. So, I mean, I guess that could go either way. Those two graves right there, that was just very recent, or not real recent, a year ago, a little over a year ago, in 23. Probably both, well, I'm going to say husband and wife, but they may have been sisters or children. One of them's Abby, from 1941 to 2023, and Jean, 1939 to 2023. I don't know, Jean, I guess that could be a male's name. So possibly husband and wife had passed away, maybe from a car accident or something. Pretty much dying on the same day, which is sad. Things like that happen, but you know, it does, unfortunately. So I think the thing that gets me the most is when I go to these cemeteries, that just kind of breaks my heart, is finding children's graves. You know, one that's only lived a couple days, or just you know, a year, or didn't have that chance to even enjoy life. But then most of those are, you know, back in the earlier days when, you know, they didn't have the technology or the medicines or anything to be able to take care of them, you know, when some kind of illness or something happened, you know. But even the ones that we do have that technology, for some reason they still didn't make it. It's just a very sad feeling. Alright, I'll walk over here and show you what I was talking about earlier. It's kind of, I mean, crazy to me, but I can understand why it kind of connected with me, with showing me this place. I mean, it even gave me a name and a date, and that's one reason why I decided I needed to come here and see if I could find that, you know, name and date on Headstone. And I was able to, and then when I got to looking at it, it just totally blew my mind. Where are you? You're right here somewhere. I believe this is it over here, Joyce. Baby Joyce. 1980, 1951. Okay. Right here, I'm going to kind of get in close to it so you can see it. It's that of a little girl, baby girl. But if you notice on it, it says born date was December, looks like 19th, 1980. And then looks like the death date says August 14th, 1951. Basically, she died before she was even born, which is kind of strange. So I don't know if that's one reason why what was connected with me wanted me to see that. Like, I don't know, maybe I thought I was going to be able to get that corrected. But I'm surprised that, you know, someone didn't do that, because surely they had to know that at the time when that happened, unless they just weren't paying attention, or after they lost their child, they may have not wanted to come here to see this or be around this grave because of the memories. So they may have not even known that whoever did the headstone made that mistake. Anyways, that's what this cemetery looks like here. I'm not feeling any type of energy or nothing drawing me to any certain area, but you know, we just wanted to kind of make our visit here, pay our respects, see if anything had changed, which, like I say, there's several new graves. But other than that, pretty much about the same. Anyways, I'm going to end this video, and we're going to move on to another one. We're here at one of the cemeteries that I've been to before. It's been, probably a year or longer since I've been here. It's a pretty good sized cemetery, a lot of old graves in here. I do know that this cemetery dates back into the mid to early 1800s. This little community is Malakoff. This cemetery is Malakoff Cemetery. but before it was Malakoff, it used to be Caney Creek. Jane Irvine and her family and another family were settlers that traveled into this area and decided to homestead here about a mile and a half north of here, which was called Caney Creek at the time. But when they put in the railroad, the town basically moved closer to the railroad. When they were opening up a post office here, they tried to get Caney Creek Post Office. I guess that name had already been used or taken, so they suggested Malakoff, and they went with that. Not too much longer after that, the Mitchum family moved into the area, and I guess he was a reverend or a preacher, and was the one to open up the first church here, the First Baptist Church. All his family was pretty much religious, so as these little other communities around this area started opening up, where they were starting to have landowners move into those areas, a lot of the Mitchum family, they kind of split up to where they would go to these different towns and start up a church there. Now I do know that somewhere along the line, basically it was the Clemens War, I believe is how it's pronounced, where the congregation was not agreeing in a lot of the religious ways or beliefs. So a lot of the members of the congregation had basically pulled out of there and started up their own church. That's where the Methodist Church came into effect. Now this cemetery, I do know that some of the Mitchum family is buried here, and one of the first marked graves or recognizable graves, the earliest one here, is of a Mitchum. It was one of the children. Reverend Mitchum, I believe I've heard that he wasn't buried here. He moved further south to another community where he opened up a church down there, and that is where he's buried down there. Haven't been to that cemetery or that area. I am hoping to do that in the near future, go down to that town and see if possibly I can find his grave down there. I do know the Irvines are not buried here. I believe they were from Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, and when she passed away, that's where her body went, back to Georgia to be buried back there with family. Anyways, we're going to do a little bit of walking around here, see if we can pick up on any energy, use our K2, possibly a cat ball, see if we might be able to get a response or connection there, listen for any type of voices or any type of feeling. It is pretty peaceful and quiet. It's almost like it's out in the country here where the cemetery is located. It's about a mile or two out of the town, out of the main part of town. So there's no main road goes through here. The road that goes through here, I'm sure possibly there's maybe some farmland back in there or something, but you don't see much traffic that goes back and forth this road. So I kind of like that when I go to any outdoor type of investigations where you don't have a lot of traffic or a lot of noise. You're able to pick up on a lot of the sounds better. So anyways, we're going to kind of walk around here and see what we can get. I'll lower my camera back on my stand while I get down here to the first floor. A lot easier to handle than walking around with a big stand. Now where I'm at right here, these are some of the first graves. This is the Mitchum's area. Looks like I don't know, maybe Geo J. Mitchum, Francis, which I believe Francis is the mother of the child, which is right back in there. It's got like a little pin around it. And if I remember correctly, the date is 1970 something. Let's see, alright. Or 1878 to 1879. 1 year. That's all that child lived, 1 year. And I mean, that's sad. But back in those days, you know, they didn't have the medical technology or the medicines to probably save a lot of the people, the children, back in those days. You know, they had very little to work with, and of course, many of them, they just didn't survive for one reason or another. But this is the earliest recognizable grave in here. There's not a lot of records that date back before that, but I do know that there are, you know, a lot in here before that date that are buried here. But you can kind of see there's some old headstones, you know, all around here. Excuse me. There's another pin over there. Now let's walk over here and see what the date is on that. I can't remember a lot of the dates on it. Like I say, it's been quite a while since I've been here, but I do know that the cemetery goes back in the early 1800s, from what I have been able to find out about it. I did a historical video about 2 years ago or so on this area. Looks like 1899. Jane Jones. Of course, I imagine that's probably some of her family, maybe children, that's buried here. But the cemetery does go way back over. It's more long than it is deep. It kind of goes back to those wood lines back there, and then of course over here we got a fence line that runs through on this side. This is probably the first section that started in the cemetery, and then they just added on down that way. Those are more, I guess you would say, modern graves, the 1900s. You can basically tell that because over there you'll see most of the headstones that's got flowers around it or some kind of decoration, as to where over here on the older ones you see nothing. There is a new one that's over here. That one they still have somebody come, but for the majority of the ones that are over here, they're, you know, 1800s, early 1900s. Now I do notice that people do come here and may not even know the family or any type of relation, but they find some of the military graves that are in here. There's Civil War soldiers, and then of course, you know, World War I, World War II. You know, that they'll come in and bring flags, and they'll stick up, you know, at some of these graves. I guess if you can recognize that, you know, they're in the military. But a lot of the headstones, you can't even read the names, dates, or anything on them. They just worn off. I have gotten a little bit of activity with my K2 meter, rim pod, cat balls here. I've had, I believe, a positive EVP with a positive spirit energy here one time. A lot of times you'll hear sounds here, you know, some voices. But it's a real kind of peaceful place. It's quiet out here today. Now there was one time when I come down here, I never walked back over here by this fence line, but when I walked over here to see what was on the other side, because I noticed this little, it looks like a historical marker or some kind of little informational plate over here. And when I got to looking at it, I was seeing some headstones and things back in this side, which I was kind of wondering why they over there on that side of the fence and not over here. When I went around to the other side of the fence to get over there to see what this was over here, this little section over here was set up for the immigrants, Hispanics that came here back in the early days when they opened up, I believe it's called the slag mines, or some form of mine where they just kind of dig the top surface to get the coal. It was when they put in the first electrical system, the first type of power plant to give energy to a lot of the homes and businesses. These were a lot of the workers and some of their family that were in this area to do that. So they kind of dedicated this little area with their own little historical plaque over here. There's not very many over there, but there are a few. But the headstones over there, they're not like what's over here on this side. They're totally different. You know, they're basically like crosses. You know, kind of down that style over there. As to where over here, there's a lot of granite stones and different type of monuments that were built on a lot of the graves. Tim, he's up there at that end. He's doing his filming, seeing if he can get any activity going, if anything will come and connect and communicate with him. I think I'm going to go back down here to the Mitchum area. Don't know that I'll get any type of response. It seems like a lot of the old graves, I just don't get any type of activity, as to where if I get to ones that are more in the early 1900s or after, you know, it seems like, you know, that spirit energy is still here. I know I've been trying to run through my head and even trying to connect with the spirit world to, you know, have a conversation to find out a lot of the answers to questions we have about the afterlife. And I'm just kind of wondering, you know, if the spirits that are here back in the pioneer days, if nobody's still around, their family that comes and visits them, or, you know, it's almost like they've been forgotten, you know. I'm just wondering if their spirit energy dies off, like they're not around anymore. That's why we are unable to get any type of communication. I'm not sure whether that's the reason, but it's a possibility. You know, hey, leave your comment down below. Let me know what you think. Maybe you can come up with a different reason or an explanation why we are unable to connect and communicate with a lot of the older type spirits. I'm going to shake my camera here because I'm going to set up my stand again. Apologize for the ow. My finger got caught in the stand. That's not good. Yeah, well, things do happen. I'm going to back up just a little bit here, and we'll probably go with Lucy, daughter of the Mitchums. Angle my camera down to her headstone. I'm going to zoom in on it. Move a little closer. Just a tad more. I'll put a ball and a K2 down there, see if possibly might be able to get something to activate it. Lucy, I don't know if you're here, girl. Sorry you had kind of a short life. But I got a little device here. I'm going to sit here at your headstone, if that's all right. And it's not going to hurt you, or don't mean any disrespect. And then of course I got a little cat ball right here I'm going to set on the ground as well. What these things are just little objects, or anyone that might be here. These little devices or toys, it's just something you can use to, you know, communicate with us or let us know that you are here. And I promise you that none of these things I use will hurt you in any way. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to trap you or make you go away. I'm just here trying to see if possibly who might be here. Or maybe who would be willing to come and, you know, let me know that you're here or have a conversation. I'd love to know your story. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about how your life was back when you were living. I do know that you were some of the first pioneers in this area, and you had quite a big family. Of course, a lot of the family kind of branched out to different little communities around the area to open up their churches. If there is anyone here that hears my voice and understands what I'm saying, please, I invite you to come over here and join me. Like I say, I'm not here to hurt you in any way. I would just like to know if possibly there may be still someone here. And you can let me know that by where I'm pointing to over there on the ground in front of Lucy's headstone. There's a little black box or a little ball laying right there on the ground. And if you walk over to them, touch them, move them, knock them over, they're just going to start flashing different colors. That way I know that you are here, that you are still around. So please, come and join me and do that if you would. Uneven ground, I may have to adjust my camera a little bit because of the ground that it's on. Either that or it looks like you're looking at it sideways. I don't want you to have to get a kink in your neck watching the video. Is there anyone here with me? I have another device here. What this is something you can use to speak through, where you can talk, and whether it's one word or a sentence, and it'll be able to hear you, what you have to say. And we'll set that over here on the ground as well by Lucy's headstone with these other devices. I'm not going to be able to do that because that's going to set off the K2. Set it up on top, if that's alright. But if you would, please come over and use this device to talk with me. Let me hear what you have to say. Just walk over to it, get real close to it, and you can use it to speak. Is there anyone here? Energy? Well, if you need energy, this little device right here, you can come over and get close to that and you can get energy from it. That's perfectly fine. You can get some energy as much as you need. I don't mind. I'm just hoping there might be someone here that would like to come and talk with me a little bit. Maybe answer some of the questions I have about how life was back in your time. Is there anyone here willing to do that? My name is Tim. And I like going to different places like this and being able to communicate with some of the spirits that are there. And I'm hoping maybe someone is here that would like to come and do that. I'm giving you that opportunity. With the devices I have, it enables you to speak. Please come and join me. Let's have a conversation. I'd like to have a conversation with anyone that might be here, not only just the Mitchum family. Closet? Well, I don't know of a closet here. You know, I'm going to have to be a little more informational there, Logan. Is there a Logan here? Logan, are you here close to me? Or maybe you could tell me your last name and I can find you. A lot of headstones in here, kind of like one of the other cemeteries where they just, the materials they used back in the earlier days, it's not the granite like what they use now for the headstones, and over a period of time they get kind of brittle and break, and most of them you'll see in pieces, but they'll have them laying down basically flat on the ground, you know, where there's still a marker on these graves. Is there anyone here with me? The vehicle going by, which I think that's only the second vehicle I've seen since I've been here. I do know that they lock this place up at night time to keep people out. I don't know if they have any history of anyone coming in here and vandalizing, but you know, most of the cemeteries, they have a kind of a time on when you can come and visit. A lot of them are dusk to dawn. Some of them close at a certain time or open at a certain time. I believe this one here is like 8 to 5, but most of them are like 8 to 9 or 8 to 7. And then there are some that are open 24/7. You can go in anytime. Let's see, haunt building. Well, there's a little shed up there, but I don't know if it's anything haunted. Is there anyone here that'd be willing to come where I'm at? I'm right here. I'm waving. You know, come over here and join me, please. And maybe let me know that you're here by touching one of my little toys here on the ground. The little ball or that little black box. That would be pretty awesome if you could do that. I know sometimes we can get activity during the daytime, but it seems like most of the activity that we're able to capture is during the night. And I don't know if that's because they're afraid to come out in the daylight to think they're going to be seen, even though we can't see them. I mean, there are a few of us that can see them. But, you know, I think a lot of the reason they do it at nighttime because it's darker. They like the dark. What's your opinion on that? You can bring my speaker with me for my Anna. Anna, are you around here? Can you come and join me, please? And maybe show me that you're here by touching this little black box or ball down here on the ground. I had a few names come through, but that doesn't mean that they're right here, or that they can even see me or hear me. You know, it could just be residual talking amongst themselves. I have done an SLS sweep through this cemetery before and was able to map several spirit energies, but I believe it was mainly residual, just out here just kind of walking around. You know, I find that happens quite a bit at a lot of different locations. You know that there's energy there, but you can't open up any type of communication with them. It's as if they don't even know we're here, that we exist. I believe they basically just think that they're still alive, that they didn't know they passed on, and they're living what we call a time loop. You know, that they just keep repeating the same things over and over, almost like a broken record. Nobody here want to come and interact with me or communicate with me, touch my little toys down here to show me that you are still around? Confess? What do you have to confess about? What'd you do? I mean, I won't tell nobody. It'll just be between me and you. Or is that what you did when you go to the church to do a confession, asking God for His forgiveness? Is that the kind of confess you were talking about? If there's anyone here that believes in God, can you touch one of these little toys down here on the ground for me? Make them light up. You'll just let me know that you still believe. Well, like I say, being in the old section, you know, it's just like there's nobody here anymore. You know, where they come and interact with you. So I want to move over the other side a little bit, over there, more into the modern 18 modern side, and see if possibly somebody over there may want to come and have a little conversation with me. Alright, I think I'm going to put this on pause until I go over there and kind of set up over there. Let's see if you'll come and possibly maybe communicate with me or talk with me. These little toys, I promise they will not hurt you. It's alright. We'll set one right there. And we'll set the cat ball. We'll stay there. Yeah, we'll stay there. We'll set it right there. Got a branch on your raise. Move that away from you. Kind of clean you up a little bit. My name is Tim, and I'm just seeing if possibly you might be here. Armand, or if I'm pronouncing it right, if I'm not, I'm sorry. And Evelyn. Are either one of you here? If you could let me know that. Maybe touch that little cat ball over there or that little black box right there by your headstone. That would just let me know that you're here and that you do hear what I'm saying. Or if there's anyone else here, you're welcome to come over and join me. I'd love to have a conversation with whoever might be here. I'm giving you that opportunity by using some of the devices that we have. But in order for me to know you like to talk, you'll have to let me know that you're here. And you can do that by over here where I'm pointing. There's a little black box or there's a little ball. All you got to do is walk over to it, touch it, move it, knock it over, whatever you can do. And all they're going to do is light up different colors. They will not hurt you. We're not here to hurt you. We're just trying to see if possibly anyone here would like to come and talk with us. Maybe you have something you'd like to say. Or maybe you can tell us a little bit about your life. Looks like both of you had a pretty good life. You lived a long time, which I think's awesome. Because there are so many that die at a young age. So at any time, whoever's here, if you'd like to let us know that you're here, please walk over to one of these little toys I have sitting over here that I'm pointing to. Touch them. Get them to light up for me. That'll just show me that you're here. They start flashing different colors. Is there anyone here? Okay, another person liked the video, and Mo and Omar's group. Somebody reacted to, likes the one, and fans of the paranormal and unexplained. And Paranormal Hauntings has approved the video, so that means it's live on their group. No one here wants to come and let us know that they're here. No one wants to come and have a conversation with us or let us know that they're here by touching one of these little toys over here I have sitting over here at the Moore's headstone. That little black box or that little ball. They're probably going to leave and go somewhere else. It seems like everybody's afraid to come do anything during the day. Seems like you all like to do things at dark time. Makes me believe that you either like the dark or Maybe you're scared of the daytime. Afraid someone's going to see you. Which, if you show yourself to me, I think that would be pretty cool. Mr. or Mrs. Moore, I'm here to visit.
If you're willing,
I sure like it if you come and let me know that you're here.
if you're willing, give us just a little bit of trust. These glasses, they just let us know that you're there.
If it wasn't windy and those flowers moved, I'd say maybe.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, we can fix it.
I was giving you the opportunity to communicate with us.
Opportunity like this don't come along very often, I'm sure.
It looks like nothing's going to happen here today, so we're going to move on.
Sure it's for your time.
If there is anyone that come and communicate with us or interacted with us, we appreciate it. And hopefully when we come back again, maybe you'll feel a little bit more comfortable and give us a little trust and interact with us. Till then, we're going to say goodbye, and you have to stay here. You cannot go home with us.